So when someone says Peter Pan, do you think you know the story? The whole story? The before story? The after story? What do you know about Peter Pan? We're here tonight at Brennan Theaters watching Pan, a prequel, a prelude to all the Peter Pan takes that you know you love. I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought Disney had a hand in it. Shows me just kind of whatever, not paying attention. They did not. The movie was different, it was interesting. I personally did not like this movie. I could have done completely without it. It is a family movie. You definitely can tell when you watch it. It's one of those movies where it has kind of some adult themes in there laid out, obviously because Peter Pan is a child that doesn't grow up and he flies around and has shenanigans on Neverland. So the movie is a nice piece of eye candy. There's lots of stuff in there where you're kind of like fake, robotic, see, I don't really know. So I appreciated that. The acting wasn't nothing special. The movie to me felt like it had a lot of pacing issues. They were focusing on one thing and then they kind of just jumped to something else. Tons of references to the Disney stuff, to the Hook one with Robin Williams, lots of different character nods. Of course, this is before they were the characters you know and love. Me personally, it just seemed like the movie kind of had a little bit of a mess, so they didn't really know what they wanted to do. Movie, you could tell they filmed it for 3D. We didn't watch it in 3D. It is a good family movie, so if you want to do something with the family, go see it. It's worth it. I mean, it wasn't all that great. I'm gonna give the movie 5 out of 10. I didn't like it. It couldn't keep my attention long enough. The only thing redeeming part was probably Captain Hook. That was about it. To see what the other Lost Boys had to say, let's check that out right now.
I thought it was fun. I think the word that I'm looking for, and I think is the best description, is whimsical. It doesn't take itself seriously. From the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, it's just kind of having fun with itself. I mean, the actors do a good job in the parts they had written for them. The kid, I think his name is Levi, that played Pan, I think he did a good job. I think he fit the part and fit the role that they were going for. And I could see him kind of morphing into the Pan from Hook, which I truly believe was what this was supposed to be a prequel for, at least a spiritual prequel for, and I have like a real reason for that. I believe that the accent and the strange way of talking that the Hook character has is specifically because that's how Dustin Hoffman talks in Hook. Plus, Blackbeard delivers like 5-10 lines from Hook, like exact lines that you can't help but go, hey, was that like that on purpose? You know, the special effects, not being an expert in special effects, but I enjoyed the special effects. I think that they tried some kind of neat concepts, especially with the flying ship, that worked really well. I don't know, it seemed just like pure fantasy, like neat to see, neat to watch. It kind of makes you kind of want to be on one a little bit. I mean, I'm scared of heights, but I'd still want to try it. But it was pretty neat. I don't know, just the overall feel of the movie was very positive. It had a very, I don't want to say a kid's movie feel to it, but it had a very light-hearted feel to it, I guess is the best way to put it. A whimsical feel to it, as I said earlier. There was no Twilight feel in this entire movie.
Who's your heartthrob in this?
I did enjoy it. I was a little conflicted, though, I will have to say. I would kind of liken it to if you've gone to the circus as a kid and you enjoyed the circus, and then as an adult you go to Cirque du Soleil, where it's like, okay, we really upped the game on what happens, but it's also a little weird and a little confusing, and you're like, there's some things going on I don't totally understand, but it's really colorful and it's really impressive at the same time, and that's kind of how I felt about this film. The dialogue and the writing I actually thought was really good, but maybe was just trying a little too hard for a kind of epic quality, but visually speaking, it really was amazing, and I did like the creativity. It was taking characters that we know and places that we know and adding more to that. So mixing it up a bit. We had some really fun interchange between James Hook and Peter Pan. And that was kind of a fun duo. They were both really good actors, I thought, and did well together. When it wasn't about the two of them, I lost a bit more interest.
It was a little strange here and there. The costume design was a little out there. If I had known Hugh Jackman was playing Blackbeard, I wouldn't have known it was him. He really threw himself into that role as much as he does with Wolverine. Two very different characters, very different motives, very different atmospheres, different worlds. Visual effects, when it comes to Fantasyland, you can't say what looks fake and what doesn't, because it all breaks the laws of physics quite literally, and that's what Pan's really all about. The effects serve their purpose for helping to tell the story. They're almost a character in itself, because without it, it would have been very difficult to make a movie like this using only optical and practical effects. So nowadays, CG we're just a bit reliable on, understandably so for a movie of this scale. CG is the only thing that can really help bring it to the realism that it did bring it to. There were kids in the theater who were like, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Is it over yet? I want to say something, but I didn't.
So then on a scale of 1 to 10, Mike?
I'm not finished.
Oh, you're not? No, I thought you were.
I am. Go ahead. What was
On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give this and why?
I'm going to give it a 7.9. The reason I'm not giving it a full 8 is because of some of its pacing issues and its strangeness. A little bit out there, but the acting was fabulous. The visual effects were great. The music by John Powell, really well done.
I'm gonna say 7. Overall, I did enjoy the movie. It's not perfect. It's a little odd. It's a little strange. And it could be hard for some people to kind of give it the benefit of the doubt if they're really familiar with the J.M. Barrie source material. Could be hard to coexist in the same place, but if you come at it with an open mind and you're not necessarily stuck on like the Disney's Peter Pan or stuck on Hook or whatever film that you may have seen before, I think it's pretty enjoyable, a lot of fun.
I give it a solid 8, and I highly suggest, contrary to the other opinion, I highly suggest seeing it in theaters because it has this visual aspect to it that if you saw the trailer and you're like, this looks fun, see it in theaters because it's kind of larger than life in its special effects and its kind of grand scheme of its fantasy world. So seeing it on the big screen, I think, adds quite a bit to it.
If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Like this video, favorite it, share it. What is your favorite Peter Pan movie? Rather it be the Disney one, the Robin Williams one, or there's one like 10 years ago. Throw that down in the comment section. Curious to know. To see last week's review, go ahead and click the little logo down yonder in the corner. And as always, I'll let you know before you go, at Brendan Theaters.